A naval mystery with local ties, maybe more than most folks realize. In August 2017, the remains of the sunken USS Indianapolis were found. Tonight we dig into the history, the local men who were on that ship, and the local man who was there when the Indianapolis was located at the bottom of the ocean more than 7 decades after it was sunk. The story of the USS Indianapolis has a thread across southeast Tennessee. The sinking of that ship is called the worst U.S. naval disaster in history. 5 of the roughly 900 men who were killed in the sinking were from Marion County. Chattanooga native K.O. Irwin passed away a few months ago, but he was one of the 317 men who survived the sinking.
I run down the side and I dove in and swam as far as I could to get away from the ship, keeping me, pulling me down. And all I could see is just the last tail end of the ship going down.
We've told Mr. Irwin's story in the past on the price of freedom. He survived the sinking in the 4 days and 5 nights floating at sea in shark-infested waters. But for 72 years, no one had seen the USS Indianapolis.
Indianapolis was always #1.
Paul Mayer grew up in California, but after school spent years in the Cayman Islands working on submarines.
From there up to Soddy Daisy.
How'd you end up in Soddy Daisy, Tennessee?
Our in-laws.
So now he lives here most of the year, but works a couple of months at a time with a team on a research vessel finding and documenting shipwrecks from World War II. It's a project started by Microsoft co-founder and philanthropist Paul Allen.
I will go out up to Washington, D.C. and go to the National Archives and go through their records, trying to put together a package for the next shipwreck we're looking for.
And then he goes on the missions. He was part of the team that found the USS Indianapolis in August of 2017.
We started at a point and we started moving east, and we kind of thought that we should have found it.
They split into 2 groups and worked 12-hour shifts. And where were you when the ship was found? What were you doing?
Sleeping.
He says he woke up and went into the control room.
I just popped my head in, and everyone kind of looked at me and just kind of shook their head, and so I took that as a good sign. So we had found the bow that night. And they found the rest of the ship about a nautical mile away. It's in excellent condition. You know, it's just, you know, the paint is still on it, very little rust. You know, that's what amazes me.
Paul Mayer told me after he returned from the mission, he met with K.O. Irwin and his family. Now, there's a special on the mission to find the USS Indianapolis. It will premiere on PBS on January 8th at 10 p.m. Eastern. You can find that locally on WTVC. If you want to learn more about the USS Indianapolis, you can find that in the Price of Freedom section on NewsChannel9.com. Also, Paul G. Allen, the philanthropist behind these missions, passed away a few months ago. Paul Mayer tells me his work will continue. The team that he's a part of has a full schedule of projects for 2019.
Josh, thanks so much. Well, sports is at